Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I want to talk about a move that might seem small on the surface, but actually has some serious implications for the Giants and their ongoing quest to rebuild and compete in the NFC East. It's about the recent signing of Michael Thomas, the veteran wide receiver, who's coming into the fold at a very interesting time for the Giants. And no, I'm not just talking about adding another name to the roster. This could be a critical piece for their current season and beyond, especially after losing Malik Nabers to injury, which, if you ask me, is a huge blow to this young, developing offense. Malik Nabers, who was expected to be a key weapon in this offense, has unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury, leaving the Giants without a true WR1. That's a big problem, especially when you're trying to develop a young quarterback like Jackson Dart, who's still trying to find his footing in the NFL. What makes this signing of Michael Thomas so intriguing isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about the strategy behind it. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking: isn't Thomas too old for this? Isn't he past his prime? Well, yes, Thomas is 32 years old, and in the NFL, that's often considered the twilight of a player's career. But here's the thing, age doesn't necessarily mean the end of productivity, especially if the player is smart, experienced, and has a good understanding of the game. And let's not forget, Thomas has proven he can still make an impact, even if it's not at the same level as his prime years. Back in New Orleans, Thomas was a prolific receiver, and his best years were truly remarkable. In 2019, for instance, he racked up 149 catches for 725 yards and 9 touchdowns. Those numbers are legendary and made him one of the top receivers in the league at the time. But since then, injuries and a changing team dynamic have slowed him down. His last NFL season, 2023, saw Thomas playing in just 10 games, but even then, he managed to secure 39 catches for 448 yards. Those aren't eye-popping stats, but they're still valuable, especially considering he was playing in a limited role. His PFF receiving grade for that season was 67.8, which shows he was still capable of contributing meaningfully when healthy. Now, let's talk about his role on the field. While Thomas is often labeled as a slot receiver, his playing style and recent usage show that he's capable of lining up outside as well. In 2023, he played out wide on approximately 71.5% of his snaps, according to PFF. That's significant because it suggests he still has the versatility to be utilized outside, which is exactly what the Giants need right now. They're lacking depth at the receiver position, and Bose Collins, an undrafted rookie, isn't quite ready to step into a larger role. Developing Jackson Dart with a reliable target like Thomas could help him grow, especially since the young quarterback needs a veteran presence to learn from. This brings us to the bigger picture, the state of the Giants this season. Let's be honest, making the playoffs this year looks pretty slim at this point. With a few games remaining, the team's chances of reaching the postseason seem almost zero. But that doesn't mean the season is a loss. Far from it. The focus now has to be on development, evaluating talent, and laying the groundwork for future success. Signing a veteran like Michael Thomas isn't about chasing a championship this year, it's about giving Jackson Dart a fighting chance, providing leadership, and ensuring the offense has some consistency. And folks, that's where this move makes even more sense. You see, NFL teams, especially those in rebuild mode, often look for cheap, short-term solutions. Late into the season, veteran players like Thomas are usually signing one-year deals, often for a fraction of what they'd get during peak years. It's a win-win situation for the Giants, they get a seasoned receiver who can contribute immediately without a long-term commitment. And for Thomas, it's a chance to prove he still belongs on an NFL roster, to show that he can be a difference maker one more time. You might wonder, what exactly does Thomas bring to the table at this stage? Well, for starters, his experience. He's been through the highs and lows of this league, knows how to get open, and can be a reliable target in clutch situations. Even if he's not at his peak, his route-running savvy and football IQ can help the Giants' young receivers and quarterback develop chemistry. Plus, his prior experience lining up outside on the boundary gives the team some flexibility in their offensive schemes. That kind of versatility is crucial when you're trying to piece together an offense that's still finding its rhythm. Now, I want to highlight that the Giants aren't just signing Thomas as a stopgap. They're adding a piece to their puzzle, a veteran presence who can help stabilize the receiver core in a crucial part of the season. With Malik Nabers out, the team needed help. Bose Collins is promising, but he's still raw, and relying solely on rookies or unproven players isn't a recipe for success. Having Thomas around provides a safety net, a dependable option for Dart, and perhaps even a mentor for some of the younger receivers trying to carve out a role. Let's also take a moment to consider the team's overall direction. The Giants have been in a bit of a transition period over the last couple of seasons. They've brought in new coaching staff, tried to rebuild the roster, and are looking to establish a new identity. Signing a veteran like Thomas can be seen as a strategic move. It's about adding leadership, veteran knowledge, and a guy who's been to the top of the league and knows what it takes to succeed. Even if Thomas isn't the same player he was in 2019, his presence can serve as a motivating factor for the entire offense and help keep the young guys grounded. And let's not forget, this signing could potentially pay dividends down the line. If Thomas can provide some production, even if it's just in a rotational role, it might help the Giants evaluate their receiver talent for the future. It also gives them more options when designing their offensive game plan. Plus, if Thomas can stay healthy and contribute, he might even serve as a valuable trade chip next season if the team decides to move in a different direction. But, of course, we have to keep realistic expectations. Thomas's best days are behind him, and he's coming into this with a lot to prove. The NFL is a tough league, and staying healthy is a challenge for any player, especially someone in their early 30s. Still, for the Giants, this signing isn't about revolutionizing the offense overnight. It's about adding a smart, experienced player who can step in when needed, provide leadership, and help develop the young talent around him. Looking ahead, the Giants' draft plans and off-season moves will be key to their future success. They need to continue building on their strengths, address their weaknesses, and develop a cohesive team capable of competing in the NFC East, which is arguably one of the most competitive divisions in football. The Eagles are still stacked, the Cowboys are always tough, and Washington is looking to bounce back. So, every move counts, and this signing of Michael Thomas might just be one of those underrated moves that could pay off more than expected. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical, and that's fair. It's hard not to be when talking about a player who's been out of the game for a bit and isn't in his prime anymore. But sometimes, in the NFL, it's those savvy veteran signings that make the difference in close games, in locker room chemistry, and in the development of young stars. The Giants are betting on Thomas's knowledge, his football instincts, and his ability to be a reliable target in critical moments. So, to sum it all up, this signing might seem small on paper, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a smart move for the New York Giants. It's about depth, experience, and giving Jackson Dart a real shot at growing into the franchise quarterback they hope he can become. It's also about the bigger picture, a team still in rebuild mode, aiming to lay the foundation for future success while trying to squeeze out whatever competitive edge they can in the present. The NFC East is brutal, and every piece matters. Whether Thomas can contribute significantly remains to be seen, but one thing is clear, the Giants are making calculated moves to position themselves better for the seasons ahead. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the New York Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back, soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news. Remember, football is more than just a game, it's a passion that unites us all. Keep supporting your team, stay optimistic, and let's see what this season has in store for the Giants. Thanks for riding along with me today, and as always, let's go Giants.